We waded through 2025, refreshing leak pages, tracking rumors, and expecting the usual Apple TV update that never arrived. For a moment, it honestly felt like Apple had forgotten the living room. But the latest leaks suggest the opposite. Apple didn't forget the Apple TV. Apple paused it because the next Apple TV 4K is rumored to be more than a routine refresh. If these reports are accurate, the Apple TV 4K 2026 model is getting a major upgrade built around Apple Intelligence, a huge chip jump, and smarter home connectivity that could turn the Apple TV into the real command center of your smart home. So today, we're breaking down everything that's rumored for the new Apple TV 4K coming in 2026. Why Apple skipped 2025, the rumored A17 Pro upgrade, what Apple Intelligence could mean for TV OS, the surprising gaming potential, the big networking changes with Wi-Fi 7 and Thread, expected launch timing, and the price, because that might be the most shocking part of all. Let's get into it. First, the real reason for the delay, the chip. The current Apple TV 4K runs on the A15 Bionic. And to be fair, the A15 is still fast. Menus are smooth, streaming is flawless, and it handles everyday apps easily. But the A15 launched back with the iPhone 13 in 2021, and in tech years, that's a lifetime ago. Apple can't push the next era of TV OS, AI features, and next-gen experiences using 2021 silicon forever. Especially not in 2026, when the competition is evolving and smart home expectations are higher than ever. That's why the most important leak is this. Apple is rumored to be jumping straight to the A17 Pro in the 2026 Apple TV 4K. Yes, A17 Pro, the same class of chip that powered the iPhone 15 Pro and proved it can run serious workloads. Now the obvious question, why would Apple put an A17 Pro into a streaming box? Because this Apple TV upgrade isn't about faster Netflix, it's about Apple Intelligence. Apple Intelligence is the missing piece, and it likely explains why Apple didn't bother releasing a minor update in 2025. On-device AI features require real horsepower, especially a modern neural engine, because Apple's strategy is privacy-first processing whenever possible, not sending everything to the cloud. If Apple wants the Apple TV to become an Apple Intelligence device in the living room, the hardware has to be ready. A small bump wouldn't cut it. So instead of shipping a forgettable update, Apple may be waiting to ship an Apple TV that's actually built for the next 5 years. So what does Apple Intelligence on Apple TV actually look like? Imagine Siri that finally feels useful on a TV, not just open YouTube, but find a movie that's like this one but shorter. Show me what I was watching last week but on the other app. Skip to the part where they explain the plan. Or even turn on movie night and your lights dim, the TV switches modes, and your HomePods adjust automatically. The Apple TV is uniquely positioned for this because it sits at the center of entertainment, voice control, and smart home automations. With Apple Intelligence, it could become the device that understands what you're watching, what you like, what time it is, who's home, and then responds instantly on-device without lag. And the A17 Pro doesn't just enable smarter Siri and better personalization. It opens the door to something Apple TV fans have been waiting for years, real AAA gaming on Apple TV. We already got a preview of what A17 Pro can do when major console-level games started running natively on iPhone 15 Pro hardware. That moment was huge because it proved Apple Silicon can handle serious gaming, not just casual titles. Now imagine that same performance inside an Apple TV box with constant power, more thermal room, and potentially better sustained performance than a phone. That could mean smoother frame rates, better visual quality, and more consistent performance in demanding games. Add in hardware features like ray tracing support and upscaling, and suddenly Apple TV isn't just a streaming box that plays games. It becomes a legitimate casual living room console. And yes, you can already connect PlayStation and Xbox controllers to Apple TV, but power has never been the only missing piece. The real missing piece is the ecosystem push, bigger games, better optimization, and a reason for developers to take TV OS gaming seriously. An A17 Pro Apple TV 4K in 2026 could be Apple's strongest signal, yet that gaming on Apple platforms isn't just a side feature. It's part of the plan. Now let's talk about a different upgrade that might matter even more than raw speed: connectivity. Strong rumors point to Apple adding upgraded networking silicon, often referred to in leaks as an N1 chip, designed to improve wireless performance and smart home reliability. If that happens, we could see support for Wi-Fi 7, newer Bluetooth standards, and most importantly, Thread support. And Thread is a big deal because it directly impacts smart home performance. If you've ever dealt with HomeKit delays, devices showing no response, automations failing randomly, or cameras taking too long to load, you already know the pain. Smart homes aren't just about gadgets, they're about stability. With better wireless hardware and Thread, the 2026 Apple TV could become the best HomeKit and Matter hub Apple has ever made: faster, more reliable, and always on. That means your whole home could feel instant. Lights responding immediately. Locks updating reliably. Cameras loading faster. And automations running with less lag. So instead of being the box you use for Netflix, Apple TV becomes infrastructure, something you build a modern Apple smart home around. And beyond the big headline upgrades, there are quality of life improvements that the current model is overdue for. One of the most requested features in home theater circles is HDMI pass-through. For people using receivers and high-end soundbars, pass-through can improve compatibility and help preserve the cleanest audio path possible. If Apple adds this, it's a clear message that Apple TV is still the premium streaming device for people who care about home theater setups. We can also expect continued improvements to modern Dolby support. Dolby Vision and Dolby Atmos are already key Apple TV strengths, but standards evolve, TVs get better, and Apple will want the 2026 Apple TV 4K to stay at the top for picture and sound quality. Now the question everyone asks: when is the new Apple TV coming out? The most consistent timeline points to spring 2026. That timing makes sense. It aligns with Apple's pattern for home product refreshes, and it gives Apple time to fully roll out Apple Intelligence across the ecosystem and ensure TV OS is polished enough to carry the experience. There are also rumors of other Apple Home products launching around the same window, like a HomePod with a screen. If Apple is planning a bigger smart home push, launching multiple devices together is the perfect way to market Apple Intelligence as the feature that connects everything. Now let's talk price, because this is usually where the excitement dies. But surprisingly, leaks suggest Apple might keep the Apple TV 4K 2026 price close to the current range, roughly around $130 to $150. And that actually fits Apple's strategy. By 2026, the A17 Pro won't be the newest iPhone chip anymore. It becomes proven, powerful, and cheaper to produce at scale, which makes it perfect for Apple TV. Apple has done this before: repurpose a slightly older flagship chip, deliver performance way above typical streaming devices, and keep the product affordable enough to sell widely. If Apple pulls that off, A17 Pro performance, upgraded connectivity with Wi-Fi 7 and Thread, Apple Intelligence support, and a price under $150, then the Apple TV 4K 2026 could be the biggest Apple TV upgrade in years. And more importantly, it could finally answer the question people have been asking: why buy an Apple TV when smart TVs already have apps? Because a smart TV is an app launcher. A next-gen Apple TV would be a powerful, private, intelligent home and entertainment computer that stays fast for years, gets real updates, and integrates into your entire Apple ecosystem.